Hello YouTubers and welcome to my channel. Today we'll be diving into restoring a corrupted USB drive. So most of you may have a corrupted USB drive, obviously since you've clicked on this link. So this tutorial is not going to tell you how to recover the data that's in there. I'll make a new video for that sort of stuff. Basically this is to allow you to use a corrupted USB drive. So it'll format everything, get rid of it, and then basically allow you to start using it instead of throwing it away and wasting some money. So I've got a faulty USB drive with me right now. So I'll just plug that into my computer. So that's the USB drive that's come up on D drive right here. So if I click on it, it comes up with this message. Please insert a disk into removable disk D. And I can't do anything from this point. Some of you guys may have this disk is not recognizable, and hopefully this will work for you as well. So what we'll do is we'll start off, we'll need to open up a command prompt. So you would go to C, Windows, System 32. So you need to open up Windows Explorer, which I have opened right here. And then from here, go into this drive using that search panel up there and sort this by name, and then we just type CMD, and then it should come up with the application that we require. Now you'd have to hold shift on your keyboard, the left shift key, and then right click on that application, and it should pop up with this menu. Now from here you run as administrator, because most Windows machines right now will allow you to run this application, but it won't allow you to execute some of the applications within the command prompt unless you're an administrator like the application we're going to use, which is diskpart. So you type that in, diskpart. This is pre-installed on all Windows operating system. So this application should be on your Windows machine, anything from Windows 7 all the way to Windows 10. From here, we do a list disk and then just hit enter. This will basically tell you all the disks that's available on the machine, including any external disks that's being connected via USB. So if we go back into this example, I've got 464 gigabyte internal disk for my computer, and then also disk D. Now the drive letters don't show up on here, so you'll need to really go by size. So I know that my USB disk is a 4 gig disk. So this is 3000 megabytes in here, and this is the 465 gig, which is my internal hard drive. Now you'd have to be really careful from these steps on, just because if you select the wrong disk, deem you select your internal hard drive, it would basically wipe out every data that you have on your computer. So please be careful. So on here we will select disk 1. So type that in and then hit enter. Now if we do a list disk again, you should see an asterisk on the left hand side. That basically means that you have selected that disk, or that disk is now being selected by the application. So from this step, what we will do is we will clean the disk. So type in clean there. This will wipe any data that's in that disk. Once that's completed, we create a new partition. So create partition, and we'll call that primary partition, which is the type. Once that's done, we do a list partition just to make sure that that partition was created. And we can see here, partition 1 was created, the same size, 3850 meg as what we originally had over here on disk 1, and the type is primary. Now we will format it to a particular file system. So format file system equals FAT32. Now there's different types of file systems that you can use for this particular drives, or any sort of particular drives. So there's NTFS, which will only work for Windows machines. So I'm selecting FAT32 so I can open these up on Mac, MacBooks, or any Linux operating systems. And then I will type here quick, just so that way it will do it quickly. If the quick option doesn't work for you, I would suggest removing the quick and then typing it in without, so that way it'll do a full file system format. Just hit enter. And once that's completed, it will basically pop up with the removable disk, which is the external USB disk that we have. And if you click here, 100% completed, and it's completely, or it's successfully formatted the volume. So if we go back, you will see there's now a size that you can actually recognize. The size, like I said, I had a 4 gig. Some of these will have hidden files that's within here, which will basically utilize some of the 4 gig, hence why there's probably about 25 250 meg that's been used up. So that's all working there. Now if I right click and create a new notepad text file on here, just to test to see if this works, I'll just name it test, and then we'll do testing USB, so that way we know that there's some data on there. We'll save that on here, and then we'll close that. Just double click on it again just to make sure that the file is actually saving and it is actually working. So that's done. Go back here. I'll eject it. So now that's ejected. Remove the USB. Always good to eject it as a safe measure. So that way if anything's getting written on it, it will stop and it'll wait for that program to stop writing. That's the reason why you would normally have corrupted USB sticks, is just because if it's writing something on there and then you remove it automatically without ejecting it properly, just the data will just completely get corrupted on there. So that's popped up automatically. I can see that test file that I created is there. Open it up, and it's all there. So that is now all working. I hope that worked for you guys. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Peace.